So thank you for joining us today. We'll be starting momentarily, but this is Analytics at Scale, automating the onboarding of your dashboards. And so we'll be starting very soon. I'm really, really excited about this next guest. So Ben, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on your webinar.
Perfect. And then just fair warning, I do have a cat. I'm hoping he doesn't jump over my computer, but we'll see. We'll see if we can get through a webinar without, cat disasters.
Nice. Yeah, I'm working out of a co-working space today, so hopefully it's not too loud out there.
Perfect. And then I really would like to thank everybody who's joining us. This is our first webinar and what we hope to be a long series. And just a couple housekeeping notes. We have a chat, so if you have any questions or comments, we've got Jeff Huckabee who will be kind of observing the chat, taking questions and things. So feel free, as we're presenting, to put your questions there. We may answer them probably towards the end. We'll have a whole Q&A session at the end of our content. And then we intend on making this a regular appearance. So if you're joining us from LinkedIn today live, thank you. And then if you are catching this as a recording, we will have this out on YouTube as well. So this will be a recorded webinar. And with that, I want to go ahead and start introducing everybody that we've got on screen today. So Ben Gatan is joining us from Startscreen.io. I was really happy to meet Ben. He's the CEO of this really interesting startup, and we'll dig into that in a few moments. And then I am Bridget Cogley with Versalytix, and I'm the Chief Visualization Officer. And then behind the scenes, we have Jeff Huckabee, who is kind of playing IT right now, and he'll be helping support chat. So I want to dig into why we're here today. And Startscreen is this really innovative solution, and it helps automate onboarding. We'll actually get a really cool sneak peek at it. I got to see it. We've actually got one of my dashboards in the demo, and it's a really nice way to get your users rapidly up to speed. I know a lot of times I'll jump into a number of different software packages, download things, make videos, convert it over to Jiffies, and try to do a lot of different ways to help people understand. Sometimes I'll do text guides. We all know that onboarding new users can be really, really difficult. I used to do a thing called Tableau Tuesdays, and I would sit with people, I would go through a dashboard, and it really took a lot of time. And so when I saw this solution, I'm like, this is really cool. And I'll definitely, turn this over to Ben very soon so that you can see this in action. But I can definitely see where users may want to use it internally, but we may also want to look at, how do we embed this into products? So I'm really excited where this goes. So without further ado, Ben, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Okay, I can see my content is on the screen. So as Bridget mentioned, I'm the CEO of Startscreen. And what we initially were working on was just automating onboarding of dashboards, and now it's quickly evolved into an entire dashboard experience platform. If that phrase sounds unusual, it's because we're the first of its kind. We're the first mover in this industry. And so I'd love to show you a quick little walkthrough. And basically, like, our guiding principle from this software is that we believe that delivering a great analytics experience for your end user should be really, really easy. And if you like what you see during this demo and this presentation, I would encourage you to book a demo so we can, like a follow-up demo, so we can talk more about what this could look like for your company. We're currently in private beta, so we're only working with a handful of really innovative, leading thinkers in this space. And so we'd love for you to be one of them. So if you just click the link, or if you go to tinyurl.com/startscreendemo, you'll be able to book a demo, and we can chat more about what that would look like for your company. So with that said, I'm going to kick off into what this platform looks like. So the first key thing that I want to highlight with what Startscreen is capable of doing is that it's really the first and only way to actually be able to support your users right inside of the dashboard that they're looking at, without any kind of manual work, without scheduling meetings, without recording videos. It's a lot more seamless than that. So looking at what this looks like inside of a dashboard, this is a dashboard that Bridget, who's also on this call, has created describing a recent donation drive and looking at some high-level analytics about this. And at first glance, like, this is obviously very intuitive. It's very visual, but sometimes you might have like further questions as a user to walk you through it, especially if you're not familiar with like scatter plots or if you're not familiar with geographic charts. It's sometimes helpful to have additional walkthroughs, even though this was designed in a very visually appealing way. So this is what it would look like if you added one of our Startscreen widgets to this dashboard. Basically, one of the cool things to note here is that we're able to add these very intuitive tooltips to dashboards that when you click on them can open up pop-up videos and pop-up GIFs that can help further explain what you're looking at. So we have 4 tooltips here, and each one of them basically will present and overlay additional information that's like contextually tied to the dashboard that you're looking at. And so this is really useful, not just for these like single pane dashboards, but especially when you get into like multi-page dashboards and dashboards that are a lot more complex. It could also be useful inside of like an external product. If you're delivering like an embedded visualization through your product's portal, it can also be useful to help walk your customers through that and avoid, as many questions coming into your support desk. So really, it's like this is like one layer that you can add that helps automate onboarding for your dashboards. Going to go into the next screen here. So one of the really cool things that we're excited about with Startscreen is the ability to offer true self-service help inside of your dashboard. So similar to you might see on like a SaaS product, where you have something in the bottom right corner that walks you through like knowledge base articles, lets you see like visual walkthroughs. We're bringing that same experience inside of analytics dashboards. So with a click of a button, by clicking the question mark in the bottom right, you're able to walk through these like visual documentation guides. And if none of them suffice, you can actually click the button at the bottom and say like, talk to Bridget, the creator of this dashboard, which allows you to have like a conversation with the creator and answer any further questions. So you can imagine inside of an organization, you have a dashboard that you've delivered to thousands and thousands of employees. You don't want to field individual questions from every one of them and basically become like a support desk for other employees. What you want to do is you want to have like, you want to make the dashboard as self-service as possible, especially when you get into like hundreds or thousands of dashboards for really large enterprises. So this is the first way to do that. The knowledge base articles that will appear, those are like text documents and can sometimes have videos that can walk you through what you're looking at. And what the walkthroughs are is something that will show in the next screen. And that actually like, it's almost like somebody is right over your shoulder walking you through exactly how this dashboard works. And so what that might look like would be if you launched a walkthrough talking about the bottom left corner, you can see that there are like 3 steps to this dashboard. You've already completed the first step, so it's crossed out. And then you have 2 more steps. So one is like to zoom in on Texas, and the third is like select the town within Texas. And what's really cool about this widget is we're actually tracking and seeing how users are using it in real time and following along with the steps. So what that allows us to do is as the user actually completes the steps, it will automatically cross these steps off and provide this like really visual, intuitive walkthrough experience for your dashboards. Users can also, if they're like a pro user at a company, they can actually add their own walkthroughs as well. And so in doing that, it becomes like a very collaborative hub for sharing guides and walkthroughs at your company and directly tied to the dashboard too. So there's no like separate Notion article or Confluence article that you have to find. It's like all baked right into the dashboard. Moving on to the third page. So those are the features that we have today. As I mentioned, we're still in a private beta and features are continuing to evolve over time. But you can gain access to these features today by joining our private beta. And if you wait in the future, we have some really exciting features that are coming soon. So one of them that's coming soon is the ability to improve your dashboard through contextual user feedback. So oftentimes when you launch a large dashboard within an organization, it can be very difficult when you get a ton of feedback, a ton of questions, and you're like, one of the questions is, this is confusing. But then it's like, what does this mean? Why is it confusing? You don't actually see what the user is looking at when they submit the feedback. And so that's something we're trying to solve with this next feature. where you can actually directly add comments and actually see like the context behind the part that users have questions for. Tableau does a little bit of this in-house, but for other analytics platforms, like they're light years behind, and it's really beneficial for the data analyst or the data scientist to actually be able to see the context and see exactly where a user asked a question. So that's something we're really excited about, and we think is going to save people like a ton of time at companies. It's still something we're workshopping and actively developing, so it's still in alpha, but if you join our private beta, you'll be able to get access to it as soon as we release it. The next exciting thing is actually being able to see how your dashboards are used by stakeholders. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you launched a SaaS product online, one of the cool things you can do is you can add like Google Analytics, or you can add Hotjar to it. So you can see exactly how users are using your product, and you can make changes based on things that people are having difficulty using, or if someone's not using a feature, you're able to see that and then make changes in real time. We want to bring that same experience to like large scale analytics dashboards at companies to help you deploy analytics more like at scale and treat it more like a product rather than just like a one-off dashboard. So the way that we have a couple interesting features here to actually view how dashboards are being used at a company. The first is heat maps. So as you can see from the screen, there's certain parts of this dashboard that users spend more time on and certain parts that they spend less time on. So for example, in the bottom left corner, it's like a lighter blue, indicating that users are not actually spending a lot of time in this feature. Similar with the next donor view. But what people really care about at the company is the campaigns, and they really care about like viewing this location data as well. So the key insight that you might learn from this is maybe it's worth having like a separate view entirely that just blows these two pieces up into its own dashboard for you to see like really detailed metrics about these specific areas that customers really care about. And so through understanding like usage data and how people are using your dashboards, like this is like directly exactly what you would need to figure out how to make like the next iteration of your dashboard and to improve it further. Another way that you can view usage and basically figure out how to improve your product is through our user journey mapping. So like with any product or any digital experience, there's going to be like a certain path or certain order that your users tend to do things in. And it's worth knowing this so you can help them figure out like how you can help figure out how to like direct users to the stuff that they care about first, and then second, and then third, and really match the product or the dashboard directly to how the user wants to use the product. So in this user journey map, you can see it's just like a basic indicator. Users are first clicking on campaigns, then they're going into the location data on the right, and then they're going into the scatter plot geographic map at the bottom. And to our knowledge, there's no other platform that does this full user journey mapping for dashboards. And this is something that we've heard like over and over again that people want to see. And so we're really excited to bring this to market. So I know we covered a lot, so definitely want to take some time, answer a few questions. If you're interested, you should definitely consider booking a demo on the link on the screen, and we can talk about potentially joining like our private beta and piloting along with our other companies that we have as well. We'll invite you to our Slack group, and we can really co-create this product together and build something that's really specific to you. So I'll pause there and see if you guys have any questions I can help answer.
And I'll go ahead and quickly chime in as well. I just, from a designer perspective, I love the heat map where I can kind of look and see the flow, because I can also use an existing dashboard where I'm going to work on a new iteration, see what tools people are using, how they're using it, what their feedback is, and then create a net new dashboard and use this as a testing tool. So I really love seeing the features here and what can be done with them.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we've seen this type of technology being used before for like third-party SaaS products, but it's really great to bring these to like internal dashboards and analytics assets in-house, because these are increasingly being treated like products. Like tools like Tableau, 6 Sense, Power BI, like they're all evolving over time and constantly adding new features. So it's almost like becoming like your in-house like product. And so being able to treat these dashboards as a product and figuring out how to improve them is like going to be super, super important, especially at large enterprises where you have like tens of thousands of internal customers, and you don't want to field like repetitive questions. You want to make sure people are using the dashboards correctly and they're having a great experience. So really excited about this heat map. It's almost out of alpha, so excited to bring that to a few lucky customers.
Well, and I want to, we did have a question around kind of what platforms this could be used with. And to clarify, it could be used with anything that is browser-based.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this could be used for anything that exists on the web. So let's say you built your dashboard, or you built like something using like Bubble or like an Airtable, or even like a complex tool like Salesforce. Like you can add all of these features directly to them as well. So you can see exactly how like a Salesforce is using like the Salesforce dashboards. You can see areas that they might struggle with. You can get user feedback on how to further improve them. And adding like interactive guides is also really important, especially when you're onboarding new employees to the company. Like any way that you can reduce ramp time, even by 1 to like 5%, can really go a long way for big companies. Because like in most organizations, like the first 2 to 3 months, an employee isn't really adding value. They're just going through onboarding, they're just going through training. And so this is like a very effective tool to speed that process up, and also not divert resources from managers that would otherwise have to spend time walking the new employee through how everything works.
No, and I can definitely see a variety of use cases just personally. So, I mean, I'm really excited about where this goes. Got it. Cat trying.
Thank you. And yeah, we're looking to build this out like collaboratively with the analytics community and with other folks to build like internal tools at companies, because we really think like the best way and like the most inspiring way to build a product is just to like rapidly talk to users, figure out what works, what doesn't work, and rapidly evolve the product that way.
And with that process, I'd love to dig in more to that process. What you've definitely enriched the product with new features. Can you tell me a little bit about what that co-designing has been like for you, and maybe some of the pivots that you've done, or some of the I never would have thought of that, and now it's highly instrumental in what we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. So like at the center of our entire like user research process has been the Slack community that we have, where we have our exclusive like private beta customers in there, and literally every day telling us like, I like this, I don't like this. One of the surprising things that this has emerged is, what I didn't show was like the first iteration of our product, which was just like a start screen that appears over the internal tool. It was like a standalone page. It wasn't really directly integrated into like the dashboard of the tool. And what we heard is that basically like this doesn't provide enough of a benefit to use it over something like Notion or a Confluence document. Sometimes that start screen, the page kind of gets lost in the shuffle of things, especially at larger teams. So what we heard is that folks would really want to use something that's integrated. And since we added this like integration feature, we've seen usage go up like 4 or 5x in just a matter of weeks. So that's been really exciting, because obviously like we want to just build like the best product possible. We're currently during our private beta, like we're not charging very much. It's mainly just about getting this type of user feedback. Another thing that was very interesting to us was when we're building out this self-service feature, the spark for that is, as we talk to enterprises, we learned that analytics teams kind of see themselves as like an in-house product team, but they're treated by other employees as a service team. And there's like a very interesting disconnect there, because usually when somebody wants to join a data analytics team, it's because they're really excited about analytics, they're really excited about BI and providing insights that drive the business forward. But they often get bogged down, sometimes spending 60 to 70% of their day just answering like pretty trivial questions from their colleagues, whether it's like, oh, what does this term mean? Or how do I use this dashboard? And can you make something that does X, Y, Z? And when they have to fill these repetitive questions that they get through like email, Slack, like IM, you name it, that just ends up taking up most of their time, to the point where maybe only 1 or 2 hours a day do they actually get to build analytics assets. So what we're hoping to do is free up time for these individuals by providing like a self-service way for them to learn how things work without taking time away from what they really enjoy doing at the company.
Well, and what I like is that you are also helping foster an analytical dialogue. I mean, you're putting some additional supports in there. I call them guardrails, but we're also building scaffolds so that users can kind of learn to use it, and then they can easily fade away as people become more comfortable. And then you're also adding to the dialogue of you can kind of explore how people are using it. And so you can have both that direct feedback, but then that very indirect feedback. So it really is a conversation around the dashboard occurring at multiple times.
Yeah, definitely. And conversations around like dashboards and visual assets can also get complex really quickly, right?
Yes.
If somebody emails you something saying like, oh, I'm confused about the yellow scatter plot. Well, in this graph, there's like, in this dashboard, there's 2 yellow scatter plots. Which one are you talking about? What are you confused about? But actually having like contextual feedback and being able to see like exactly what someone's talking about, we think will go a long way towards making people's feedback a lot more specific. So it helps like the analytics team that built the dashboard better answer the questions and really just deliver a great analytics experience for the end user.
And in our book, we actually call that deictic referencing. So that's, typically in a conversation we point. And so this really allows that conversation to occur a lot easily with a lot less friction, because a lot of times people don't know what they don't know. I mean, it's like this chart is, a mystery to me. I can remember the first time I saw a population pyramid and it's like, oh, the critter chart. And so not necessarily having a shared language, being able to visually incorporate that in gesture and kind of show people what you mean and where people can kind of see that together. I feel like that is really instrumental. And I love the different ways that people can contact you. I mean, that whole multimodal communication is really, really pivotal.
Thanks so much. And yeah, you can incorporate this into any dashboard, anything that lives on the web. So we're hoping to free up time, not just for analytics teams, but like a whole range of people at companies. And yeah, just hopefully make people's lives a little bit easier, enjoy their work a little bit more.
And I know you're in kind of a beta phase right now. When do you see that beta phase ending?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we have about 4 enterprises, and by enterprise we mean a company that has 500 to 1,000 plus employees actively using the product across the organization. What we hope to do is we hope to get that number up to 10 enterprises. And again, these are like Fortune 500 companies, like very large scale companies. And once we do that, and we've put everyone through like a 2 to 3 month beta period where we really have enough time to like refine the product, make sure this is something people want, and build something that's like really, really delivers a really, really delightful user experience. At that point, we're going to release it out of private beta and into public beta. Don't have exact timelines on that, but that's like the end goal that we want to hit.
And then I know when we were talking, I mean, you went on kind of this whole founder's journey, and I've co-founded a company, so I'm always curious kind of a little bit about your founding story, if you can tell us that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a little bit unique. So basically, after graduating from university, I basically spent a couple years in management consulting, realized that I wanted to build something on my own and build like a product and take it to market. But I didn't really know how. I didn't know how to get started with my entrepreneurial journey. So what I did was I joined the startup accelerator in Toronto, and they have locations across the world called Entrepreneur First. And they have a really unique model where they're actually like talent investors rather than startup investors. So they invest in people. And what they've done is they brought 50 people into the Toronto co-working space that I'm in now. And they basically said, okay, you guys are all smart people. You guys have accomplished great things so far in your career. Pair up with the right person, the right co-founder, figure out what the product is and what the space that you want to work in is. Do like hundreds of user interviews, like really understand the problem at an intricate level. And then based on that, like build the first MVP, bring it to market, ship it, refine it further. And what they've done is like, with me and my co-founder, they believed in us so much that they actually did like a follow-on investment and have given us like a couple $100,000 to further build out this product. And that's partly why we've been able to make so much progress so fast. And yeah, like they've given us this wonderful co-working space. So very grateful. They brought our team together. So it's been a great ride so far. But obviously that's a little bit less traditional than most entrepreneurial stories.
Well, and what I really like, I mean, you've had a fairly extensive beta. Can you tell me kind of, start to today, how long your beta has been and just what that process has looked like over time?
Yeah, for sure. So it's hard to put an exact date because as soon as we released something that worked, we just put the MVP out into the market and got people using it. So that was about 2 months ago. But we didn't get a lot of feedback for a while, and we weren't getting like the response that we needed. So what we realized is that the early users that we had using the product were not actually like their target users. So what we went out and did is we got like a whole new set of private beta customers, and that process took like a couple more weeks. And so now we have like a good group of enterprises that are actively using the product. It's actively solving things for them. And so basically with this new private beta that we launched, it's only been about a month or so, but it's just the two of us. So it's me and my co-founder. I'm a CEO. He's a CTO. So as I go out and talk to customers and learn more about what people are wanting, he's like behind the scenes building things as I learn new things. So we have a really good dynamic, and it's allowed us to build things like very, very quickly because we've been able to like divvy up the responsibilities.
Well, it's always exciting to me when you see kind of a newer product come out into the market, really deeply invest in the community. I mean, Tableau did that. I've seen Figma do that. I've seen a lot of companies where they've really reached out, worked with the community, created, kind of a lot of super users, if you will, but also brand ambassadors and people who can really speak to the product itself, but then also feed back into that system. I mean, Figma just recently sold to Adobe for, billions of dollars. And the success of that product is very well known amongst, a wide variety of communities. And so I definitely look at this. I'm excited to even have the smallest bit of role in this, and I love to see where this is going and where it will be, a month, a year, and even 5 years down the line.
Yeah, me too. It feels like we're learning just so quickly. Like every interview we have, every time we talk to a customer, we're just learning so fast and rapidly iterating. One of the things we're excited about, like as a startup, is we kind of see our competitive edge versus like the bigger dogs, whether it's like Microsoft or Adobe and like other companies that make like traditional documentation software, is the fact that we're a lot closer to the end user. We're talking to them a lot more frequently, and we're learning as things change in the market, hopefully quicker than they do, and hopefully able to respond a little bit quicker because we're a lot more nimble as a startup. So we're really excited to keep learning and keep improving the product. And like your feedback and Jeff's feedback has just gone such a long way towards helping us.
So I want to leave it open for maybe a couple more questions just from the audience, if anybody else has any additional questions. Otherwise, I will start wrapping up. Ben, in the meantime, is there anything else you'd like to share with those on this call today?
Yeah, I would say the main thing is like, if this seems interesting to you, even if you don't fully want to commit yet, like it's worth just booking like a one-on-one demo with us. We can have a chat on whether or not, you'd be a good fit for our private beta. And you can just use the link on the screen. So it's tinyurl.com/startscreen-demo. If you click that, you can book some time. And again, it's like completely non-committal. You don't have to have anything ready for the call. And we can just chat about what you would want to see from this product, if this product can fit for your organization, and we can just take it from there. So yeah, really looking forward to meeting you all. I hope you click the link and book some time to chat with me.
What I'll do, let's see. I will go ahead and start kind of wrapping up. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly plug my book. So we briefly talked a little bit about scaffolding and kind of different things to help our users along and putting guardrails in. Functional Aesthetics is on sale now, so you can buy it anywhere books are sold. Generally online will definitely get you there faster. So Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Blackwell's, wherever you are, it is for sale now. And then also kind of chime in where Versalytix is kind of a partner. We love to find these solutions because they really fit in with the core of what we do. So we do a mix of consulting where we'll bring you just leading expertise in analytics. So that's everything from, a strategy to governance, to engineering, data science, data visualization, obviously, but also some of those higher level items such as data training and data literacy, which we saw this is definitely a component of today. But we can see where this tool also fits in on other parts of the conversation, and then also analytics innovation. We also do talent acquisition and then analytics solutions as a service, and that kind of spans the gamut of everything from computer vision, audio NLP, industrial IoT, text analytics, and embedded analytics. I'm going to go ahead and put our information up here, and then again, if there's any final questions, feel free to chime in. But we're both readily available. And I know Ben in particular is very excited to talk to you just about this product and to kind of see where else it can go. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Bridget, for hosting this. Had a lot of fun chatting with you.
Always.